Welcome to the Creature Cast, the official Console Creatures podcast. I'm your host today, Steve Vegvar, and alongside me, as always, my good pal Bobby. How the heck are you today?
My good sir, it is the day of the Switch 2 reveal.
The Switch 2.
So I am re-energized. I feel like it's 2017 all over again, and that we're getting Christmas in April. Damn, I thought it was March. It's April.
I know, right? It's really nice. Yeah, I am a little disappointed that Nintendo chose to hold its direct on a Wednesday, because I really wish that we could have called this Nintendo Switch Tuesday. But
I know, or could have been like the 1-2 Switch of April. Like, honestly, like there could have been. There's something there.
There's something there. Missed opportunity, but I digress. I'm still very excited. We've been waiting for this a long time. I mean, it was all the way back in January that we first saw the Nintendo Switch, that they first unveiled it, gave us a little bit of details, and then said, hey, wait for the big one. Wait for the big bomb drop. And that's exactly what they did. They gave a 1 hour Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, went over hardware, software, third-party support, ecosystem stuff, and release date and pre-order information. We're going to cover all of that. But first, I just want to talk about like top level stuff. Like, you watched the Direct as it was unfolding earlier today, or by the time you guys are listening to this, earlier this week. But I just want to know, what are your overall thoughts on the presentation, how the announcements we got and everything like that, and then we'll start going over all the details that Nintendo gave out.
So top level. I like the hardware. I like that it's pretty much a mobile PlayStation 4. Hardware, peripheral wise, I love everything. Software, I'm iffy. There are some bangers in there. There are definitely some like day one games, but there are also some stuff that whether it's like being saved for Summer Game Fest, or there's like another Direct in
September,
this month. This month, I'd say, because May is a pretty big month for Sony, right? So they usually do stuff in May. But there are some bangers I was waiting for that I feel like we're waiting to be announced, and it just keeps being delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. And yeah, I don't know. I'm a solid. I give it an 8 out of 10. Like, for what it was, for a full hour, is a good 8 out of 10. There was something for everybody there.
Yeah,
Nintendo's clearly stepping up their game. I feel though that the Nintendo that innovated is gone, and now they're just more about iteration. So
yeah, I can kind of see that. I think there's also an element of catching up to norms of the industry and kind of expectations that are being set up, and that have kind of been in place for a long time. So I am glad that Nintendo is finally kind of stepping up to the challenge and saying, okay, we're going to implement very crucial and critical support here for the Nintendo Switch. For me, I'm a little higher, to be honest. I think this was like a solid 9. I think in terms of the presentation, the pacing was immaculate. To start off really strong with Mario Kart World, a game that I think everyone can kind of rally behind and and kind of celebrate and get excited for. I think that was a really strong decision to kind of get ahead of that and say, boom, it's a day and date game. You're just going to launch alongside the hardware, and then we get this kind of elongated presentation of here's the new game chat feature, the in-game voice chat.
Love
that. Here's the hardware itself, all the details of why you should be excited for Switch 2, why it's different from the original hardware. And then from there, we're getting ecosystem stuff like the addition or the changes to NSO. Then boom, all this third-party support, really impressive and surprising stuff, which we'll talk about later. And then you kind of couple it and bookend it with, here's stuff that's going to come out down the line in the future after launch. And I think that's enough to keep people engaged. And maybe if you are not a day one adopter, then you start looking at, targets of, okay, when's Kirby Air Riders coming out? When's, Donkey Kong? Maybe I purchase a Switch 2 maybe in the summer when, now I have Mario Kart and Donkey Kong coming out. And I think that's a really great way of kind of demonstrating value here. For me, I mean, like, there are obviously omissions here that I thought were kind of strange in terms of games. I mean, it's very odd for Nintendo to come out swinging and not have a 3D Mario game, or
yeah, that's what I was shocked by. The more than anything, it was just like there's no Mario there, but there is a Zelda, kind of,
yeah, right. And that's what I was gonna say. I mean, like, granted, we just came off Tears of the Kingdom, so I wasn't expecting a full-fledged new Zelda game, maybe a remake, a remaster, or something. But yeah, I mean, we did kind of get it with Hyrule Warriors.
They also kind of half-assed the Wind Waker. Like, it's coming to GameCube on expansion pack, but it's not actually coming as an HD remake.
Right. No, exactly. It's just kind of an enhanced version of the game, which I know a lot of people were hoping for, like an HD remake or something like that. But I guess it's there. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, as a whole, it was kind of weird to get brand new hardware, not have a marquee Mario game, not have a marquee Zelda game, and then kind of have these other characters and games kind of bolster up the launch lineup. But I think it was still strong. I think it was very strong. And then we got a whole bunch of like post direct information coming out, which we'll talk about as well. But overall, I think it was a very strong direct. And I think there's a lot for everyone to kind of enjoy and kind of get excited for, because I think that's the big thing is for Nintendo to approach such a wide user base of Switch, there had to have been really compelling elements there to say, this is why you're going to buy a Switch 2. This is why you're going to abandon your hardware that you've had since 2017 and come over to the party over here. And I think that they really, really excelled in showing that.
Yeah, like there were a lot of elements that really were cool. I do like what we did see. Like overall, like I said, great stuff. But there were expectations, I feel.
Yeah.
Right, from like for myself and like others.
Sure.
Like,
no, I feel that completely.
And I hate to be like that guy where it's just like I'm knocking it. I'm not. I love it, but for a launch this big, for it's been at this point 8 years. Like I kind of expected just a little bit more. Like we're getting a lot of ports.
Yeah,
ports. We don't want ports. We want new games. Where is Odyssey 2? Where is Luigi's Mansion 4? Like, give us something. I would have loved even like something as simple as like a brand new F-Zero. Doesn't need to be crazy. We're getting F-Zero GX.
That's true. We are.
But where's like an F-Zero 2025?
I understand that. Yeah. Let's talk about some hardware stuff, because I think aside from a lot of the, obviously the software, hardware is first and foremost super important, because it's like, well, what are we doing here? What are we upgrading to? So just some top level stuff. So the Nintendo Switch has a 7.9 inch LCD screen, not OLED, that like I was hoping for, or at least an OLED option.
Yeah.
It is, but I was really hoping for an OLED screen, being selfish. But I think that they did make up for it by saying, hey, listen, it can display full 1080p in handheld mode at up to 120 hertz frames per second. And then as you put it into dock mode, it can support 4K at 60 or 1080 at 120.
But it's also got HDR. So like there is HDRs, you have everything that you do have. The best of both worlds, and you know, coming from a Steam Deck or the ROG Ally, like you don't necessarily need the OLED. I mean, it is obviously a perk. There are games that will take benefit of it, but like if you're playing something in handheld, like it's not
in handheld,
big of a difference, right?
That's fair, yeah. Big Dave, the big papa of video games. How the heck are you? Long time no see. Welcome to the show.
Is it of video games if it's been so long since I've been here?
Yes, of course. You don't lose the title.
No. Well, I'm still playing, so
exactly.
True, I guess.
Yeah. First off, how are you?
I'm good. It was a long wintry day, surprisingly, today, and yeah. So I'm happy to be back inside. I had to walk from the train to home today, and it was right in the middle of the freezing rain, so that was a joy. So that's otherwise good. Yeah.
Good. Well, You didn't miss much. I do want to know, before we start continue going on with some hardware details here, I want to know your top level impressions of the Direct itself, and then we're kind of going to go into more details of hardware, games, and stuff like that.
So the Direct itself, as far as like how it's structured and all those types of things, like the style that Nintendo always does is not my thing. It just it always feels forced to me. Like everything is extra scripted. Everything is
it's very buttoned up.
Yeah, but blank background. Like put these guys in Severance. That's what it looks like. You know what I mean? Like it's very like it's fine. They're just trying to get the information across. They do it in a flashy way with their videos, and they're getting to the trailers quickly. So I like the pace of things. I've always liked that.
Yeah.
But the overall sort of style of it has always sort of been a mixed bag for me. And yeah. And then if we're going into details of stuff as we go, then we'll go from there. But definitely have thoughts about, a lot of the stuff that we saw as well. So, but yeah, I watched the first few minutes on my phone while I had a chance at work, and then I watched the rest on the train on the way home. And so I haven't had a ton of time to mull over all of it, but I have had some time to sort of think about some of the finer details and stuff as we go. But I'm sure I'll actually probably learn more from you guys than I will from even just watching the Direct. Not gonna lie.
maybe, or maybe you'll just think, I'm lost. I don't know. I don't
just
know
think I'm lost, and I'll just go to consolecreatures.com and check out all the details. See,
you could do that too.
Look at that. Look at that. So yeah, we were just talking about the differences in the screens between the support of 1080p on the LCD screen, and then 4K at up to 120 hertz when docked in the new dock. Nintendo also announced that the Joy-Con 2s, these new little numbers, they're being redesigned, little bigger buttons, bigger joysticks, and then they have confirmed the optical sensors that can be used as a mouse. And I can't wait to turn up on kids out there with Fortnite, Call of Duty. Get me in there. Any kind of first person game. Let me just use those as a little mouse. I think that's really innovative if they'll work that way.
That is exactly the thing. I don't know if for games like that it's going to be that big of a difference. Like I don't think it's going to replace a mouse. So maybe it'll work, and that's cool on games like that, but will it be the same? I
don't know.
Honestly, I highly doubt it. Like
I doubt it too, but I think it would be fun.
It would be fun. And honestly, it would surprise me if that wasn't implemented in a lot of those games, at least as an option.
Yeah.
Which would be really cool. I mean, it takes a little extra for the devs to kind of make that a reality, but if that's going to get extra sales, and they're going to go and try and do something different on a console that's definitely going to sell gangbusters again, then they might do it. I mean, it would take a lot of work to balance things, but I think it might be worth the experiment, at least at the beginning, to see where it goes.
Right, exactly. And then you just drop support a year after.
And then you just
you're like, oh, no one liked it.
And then you get mouse leg, just like the Joy-Con leg.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Which is essentially what the problem would be, right? Like that's kind of what
optical sensor drift.
Yeah. Like do you have to like take the bottom out like old mice and clean it? Like
and blow it. Yeah. Get the little ball out there. Yeah.
Get the dust out of there. Yeah.
I think it's cool. I think it's innovative. It's one of those like Nintendo little quirky things that they just add in because it's Nintendo. I do like the fact that they just did drop the sliding lock feature, because I always found that super annoying. I like that it's just magnets, and you can just kind of like pop the button off and just take them off. I think that's really nice. It's got the bigger stand, so you can adjust it way better in tabletop mode. I think that's great.
The kickstand on the original is just
a little baby one,
so useless.
A little baby guy.
It really holds the weight of it.
It really, it struggles.
It's so
dumb. 256 gigabytes of storage, which is great. 8 times that of the original Nintendo Switch, which is awesome. And then it does use micro SD express cards. So if you're out there, if you're on Amazon, I would start scooping these little bad boys up right now.
Especially just because in general things are going to get more expensive, but
because of tariffs, and we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah, we will talk. We'll get to that. Yeah,
we'll get to that as well.
I don't know if it's a good time to bring it up, but it's sort of a games thing. But like related to the mouse features or the optical sort of features, is that I have a feeling it's going to be coming, but I'm a little disappointed that there was no Mario Paint available. Like whether it's a new one or whether they're bringing it to NSO. Like I think that is kind of a no-brainer, because even if these things don't work, like you were saying, like with Call of Duty or Fortnite or something, if they don't work in that type of setting, they would definitely work with like a Mario Paint, and it's exactly the market that they're going for is that. And why not 35 years later bring it back? Like I think it would be great. I would buy it if I had this console, just because I love the original, and it would just be cool to experiment and see how it works. But
I'll tell you why it won't ever exist is because if they do it, it will be Mario Chat GPT text to image prompt.
Right.
Yeah.
or just bring the fly swatting game.
As that would be fun. I would like that.
Make a new version of that, or even the original for like $5 or $10. Done. I'd buy it. Like I'm a sucker. I'd buy it. So
I would like that as well.
Yeah.
Other little improvements, 3D audio, which is cool. Improved CPU and GPU. It's just we don't know benchmarks or anything, but it is just the upgraded version of the original Switch's chip. It's not like they're outsourcing brand new chips or anything from like AMD or anything like that. So that's interesting. I really do want to see what the performance will end up being, if it's kind of on par with hopefully maybe an Xbox Series S, if that's optimistic.
I mean, it feels closer to PlayStation, but PlayStation 4, I should say. But
sure, okay, and then we have the introduction of game chat, which kudos. Round of applause. We finally got voice chat on the hardware from Nintendo.
Only took years of bullying to get this done.
Wowzers. I'm not even being sarcastic. I'm just actually genuinely happy it happened.
I'm both. I'm sarcastic about it and also glad it's there in some ways. Will I use it? Probably not. But or at least not on an average, game without friends. But like the way they talked about this was like they were talking about the revolution of video and voice chat in like the mid 90s. You can talk to people online. And I was like, okay. Oh, even kids know what voice chat is at this point. Of course,
because they have Discord. They're doing all this stuff.
My son's almost 10 months old, and he already knows what a video call is because that's how we call the grandparents.
Of course,
they're not here.
He's in Microsoft Teams.
He's a Teamser. He's a
Teamser.
Yeah. So like it was I kind of chuckled at that, but at least it's not just, hey, turn your microphone on, now you can chat to people. Like there's more to it than that, which I think, whether it works amazingly well or not, at least they're trying to do more with it than just include a microphone.
Well, I mean, in the video itself, I don't have a lot of optimism. Because I don't know if you noticed, like anytime that they showed the other party members screens, it was running at like 4 frames a second.
Yeah,
and I'm like, at
least they're being honest, man. Like at least,
yes, that's so true. At least they're being transparent about it. But I was like, if this is the final product where you shot all this and you're like, that's the take, we did it,
we got it, everyone,
we did it,
we did it.
I'm like, okay, I mean, sure. My only hesitation with this, and we'll, aside from the camera and its gimmickiness when they're talking about Mario Party Jamboree and stuff like that, I think that's fun. I think it's cute. I don't know the longevity of this all. My issue really with it is, and I want to see it in practice, the way that you can kind of get rid of it off the screen, because I do not want to play Mario Kart. I don't want to play Smash Brothers and have the bubbles down there like I am playing on Discord or like a party chat like this.
Right.
I do just want to have it kind of like Xbox or PlayStation where it's just in the background. Let me just talk to my friends. It's in the background. I'm sure
it will be. I honestly don't feel like there's no way like this. People will be upset if this is what it is. Like I don't want to be on camera.
Of course, but even then it would just theoretically just show the blank boxes, because I think at one point it did just show these people are in your chat.
It's showing like their little like
at least give me an avatar. I don't need to be on camera.
No, I'm not saying I just don't want the bubbles at all.
Oh,
I don't want to lose a third of my screen every time I turn on chat.
And they do make a point of saying that you can minimize it,
right?
Like to the point where it's like it's smaller boxes. But I want to know, can I get rid of this entirely and just have it in the background? Because otherwise, I'm sorry, but your boy is not jumping on voice chat whatsoever. We'll party on Discord.
Yeah, and that's that's the thing. It's like, hey, everyone, we have Discord, but not really. It's the Nintendo version of that.
Yep. And I do wonder if Discord will ever make a move onto Nintendo, because they've already done it on other consoles. I wonder if that's in the works. Maybe
it has to be. There's no way it won't be. Like,
I mean, we say all this, but there's a good chance that Nintendo will just be like, no, because
that's true. Yeah,
we're Nintendo.
The only other thing too with this is because obviously includes just or potentially just audio, is can you only talk and listen with the microphone? And did I miss any of this detail that you can only talk and listen through the actual Switch itself, or can I put in a headset with a microphone and talk
I
that
have
way?
to assume they're coming, like, maybe not proprietary, but I assume I
hope it's not proprietary. Like, are you kidding? I don't want a Nintendo headset.
and the reason I say this is because even in the press release, they do say that even with the camera, you can use the USB Type-C enabled camera, like a Logitech or something like that. It doesn't have to be the proprietary one. So I do assume that, while the built-in microphone is the go-to, the accessible one right out of the box if you don't want to invest in a headset. But I do think that at some point, you could just theoretically
pretty much everyone has earbuds at least at this point. And most of them come with even the most basic microphones. So as long as that is possible, it's just, the reason why, like, things, it kind of sounds like a silly question, but like, if you don't show me, then I'm going to assume that it could be an issue.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Even with the chat box, it's like, you didn't show me that it can just go away. So right now I'm assuming it can't.
Yeah. They showed so much other detail. Why not something simple like that? Like that's the thing.
And I mean, we still have a couple months until it releases. I'm sure hands-on stuff will come out. People will get a chance to kind of ask these questions. But in terms of the hardware, yes, it's pre-orders coming out April 9th. So just a week away until we're all just throwing elbows trying to get in our pre-orders. Launching June 5th.
Yeah.
And it's launching in Canada, $629 for the base model, $699 for that and Mario Kart World. How are we all feeling? Everyone happy?
At that price, it is not happening. Sorry, for me, it's not.
Yeah.
No, at least not right now. At least not right now. I will likely get this down the line, whether it's 6 months, a year, whatever it ends up being. But similar with the PS5 for me, it took me about 1.5 years to get it. I wouldn't be surprised if it's somewhat similar for me, but you know, I can be swayed by Prime or other games that like a Mario Paint, for example. You know, like there's things that can get me to push my wallet where it's not supposed to go. But as of right now, I'll see how things go, and I'll be as patient as I can. That's where I go. That's where I sit.
Yeah. How about you, Bobby? How are you feeling about pricing, release date, releasing in June? How do you feel about all this?
I mean, it's fine. We knew it wasn't going to be at the same price point as like the Switch. So for what it is, it's cool. I mean, it's not a weak machine. It's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty strong, and it's a premium machine. Like, it's a Switch console, so it's a Nintendo console. I'm fine with it. I'm gonna get it. I will probably pre-order the bundle.
Yeah.
So I'm not. There's no way I'm not getting it. I mean, we use it for work. This is stuff we need to do this job. So it's just like I'll be there day one. I feel like it could have been a little bit cheaper, but like, listen, like, things are not cheap anymore. I mean, doesn't matter how you spend it. Like, there's no way. Like, you gotta find a way to cut savings. And I feel like had they gone with an OLED screen, it probably would have been even more. So it's like the concessions are like a LCD screen.
Yep.
With what we're given, like, it's fine. It's perfect. It's a good starter machine for this next Nintendo generation.
Sure.
I fully expect we'll see like a refresh in like 2 years with
I agree.
So that's fine. It's a good way to start this generation. So hardware wise, I'm very happy with what we saw today. It was pretty good. It was cool.
Yeah. As far as like the hardware itself, I'm very impressed. The fact that we're getting a Nintendo console that can do an output of 1080 at 120 hertz is, I never thought we would ever see this, or even a Nintendo console doing 4K at 60, which, hell, most games or most pieces of hardware can't even do that on a reliable basis. But if Nintendo can come out and be like, our games are optimized at that, I'm happy. And yeah, no, I echo what you're saying, Bobby. As far as like it's our jobs, it's part of what we do. Yes, I will go out and pre-order. That being said, though, I empathize with everyone out there, and this has been something that I've been saying all day. Is that I really do empathize with people who are looking at Nintendo, not in the industry or anything, whether or not they're a mom or dad and everything, and they're looking at this hardware and they're like, this is $700, and I'm working 2 jobs just to kind of put food on the table.
Let's keep that in mind too, right? So it's $800. Like it's not nothing. I got my Steam Deck for less than that, and I would get more use out of that, at least right now, based on what we know is going to be available.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to say definitively it is never going to be worth it. Like there's no way it won't be, because let's be honest, the Switch was great too. So it's going to be there. It's just right now, it's just personally not the time. That's
of course. But and I feel for families who look at Nintendo and they're like, this is the family friendly company. This is games that kids can grow up with and adopt and relate to and build memories with, like Mario and stuff like that. And then look at like the upcoming holiday season, they're like, because of the real world implications, because of tariffs, because of inflation and stuff like that, I just won't be able to afford a Switch 2. And I think that sucks. I really do feel for families out there and everything like that. It really does suck. I know this isn't a Nintendo problem. It's just a real world problem in North America and stuff like that. But
it matters though, because like even if all this stuff is happening, I mean, it's not just in North America as we sit here in the last couple of hours, but these extra costs that everyone has to incur on a business side that isn't the day-to-day, person or parent or family or whatever, that's all a trickle-down effect. And if it lasts long enough, even if you don't pick this up in June and you want to pick it up for the holidays, let's say, that price could change again at that point, out of everyone's control, out of Costco's control, out of any storefronts or even Nintendo's control.
Right? Like exactly.
So you can't blame Nintendo for any of that. It's nice to point a finger, but I think we know where to point the finger. We don't have to get into it, but I think we know where to point it. And video games are the least of our problems at this point, but like it's part of the discussion, and it has to be. Like,
and it does suck because video games are an escape. They're escapism. It's a hobbyist thing, and it just it's just very apparent, especially today with all this new information of hardware and software and stuff like that. It's becoming more apparent that something that you should be accessible, that should be this use of as an escape, is now becoming more of a premium hobbyist thing that is kind of out of reach for a lot of families and households. So yes, for me personally, even though I am lucky enough to be in a position where this is part of my job and stuff like that, I do extend a whole heart for families who are like, damn, that kind of, I'm disappointed in some of the news that came out today.
Like do they just go pick up a Switch 1 for the next couple of years?
Maybe or save up or just save up just a little.
Exactly. There's other options. It would just be nice if it was, like you said, more automatically accessible or an option.
Exactly.
So, there's really not much we can do. I mean, it's just life is getting more expensive. I mean, the argument's always going to be like, where's all this extra, like, where are all these new costs going? Like, what, like, if Nintendo's launching this console for this much, like, how much is going to the developers? How much is going to the executives? And Nintendo's like one of the companies I would say is like, they've been somewhat transparent with what things go on. They're the first company who and I know that's like, it's been so long, right? But when things were bad, their executives cut their salaries, and that's still something to remember, right? Because that's unheard of, right? But now we're looking at games in the States, and they're like, what, $80 to start, and people are already saying like, costs are going up, and developers are getting paid. So like, there's a whole argument there, and that's not what's happening. And it's just like, I feel like it's not a winning conversation. Like, it's just a lose-lose situation for everybody involved. There's really no other way to sugarcoat it. It's just, if you want to play games, you're gonna have to pay up now. There are, and like that's a sad thing to say, right? Like, I know there's kids who are probably like, I want this, like our parents can't afford it or whatever, but Yeah, there's really no other way to put it. It's just like if you want it, you're gonna have to work for it. At this point, you're gonna have to put that money aside every week. You're gonna have to work a couple extra hours here. You're gonna have to eat a couple of times less out during the week. It's all these little things, right? So it's like, yeah. So
I want my coffee, Bobby. I want my coffee.
Yeah, I need my oat milk latte. It's not an argument.
Jesus, this guy. Listen to this guy.
Put on Klarna.
Yeah. Put it on Klarna. Exactly.
It sucks. I mean, it's a heavy pill to swallow, and all said and done, you're paying like $800 with like an extra Joy-Con,
it's $800
and stuff. And that's a lot of money. That's more than, like you said, that's more than I paid for my OLED Steam Deck, and that was 2 years ago. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Let's turn to our attention to some software. I know that bookending the entire direct, Nintendo came out with a lot of compelling stuff. First off, Mario Kart World, 24 players confirmed. I know that was largely speculated from the original video all the way back in January, but yeah, we got a whole bunch of different racers and everything shown. Get to dress them up, which is super cool. We got different modes, kind of, you have the traditional mode, knockout tour, and then free roam, an open world setting for this little number here, which is really cool in my opinion. This is launching day and day with the Nintendo Switch. There will be a Mario Kart World Direct on April 17th. I have a feeling that we are going to get a lot of information on cameo drivers. Because one thing that I noticed right off rip, I mean, you got a whole bunch of like new guys in there. You got the Moo. Everyone was vying about Moo there. You have the N64 Penguin in there as well. Love that. But I did take notice immediately. There's no Link. There's no Dry Bones. And if you're playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and you have all these characters that were added, and then you just start taking some away, that doesn't really make sense to me. So I have a feeling
also weird to have those particular ones out when they've been in a couple, they kind of feel like staples at this point, but maybe that's just
and maybe I'm mistaken, but maybe Splatoon characters as well. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the trailer to watch it back.
But that being said, I did notice that there were a few omissions, so that kind of leads me to believe that what we saw today isn't the full roster of racers. I feel like we're going to get a lot more in the lead up to the release of this game. What did you guys think of the trailer for Mario Kart World?
Incredible.
Yeah,
that's it. It kicked off with a strong first trailer, so that was a great idea. I'm just a little disappointed that there's no everybody's here in Mario Kart World. Let's get some more Smash character.
Yes.
If you're gonna stick with Mario Kart World, which is a great title, start bringing in people from different worlds.
It is, yeah.
Well, that's kind of what
I know that's what they're hinting at, but
an implication, give Mario Kart the Smash treatment where it is. Hey,
that's what they're gonna do. They're absolutely gonna do that. They're gonna have DLC packs, and they're gonna do that's what. But the only thing with that approach, it's exciting to be like, oh my god, there's new characters launching. Whether you have to pay for them or not, I don't know.
Okay,
but
we'll
see. Yeah, no, I know. But the thing about it is that all the characters act the same, so you're paying for skins. Really,
that's fine,
right?
That's not entirely true, because in Mario Kart 8,
I guess there's speed and stuff.
It wasn't only the vehicles. They had every character had their hidden stats. So
that's true. Okay, yeah. There's underlines, but I guess in Smash it's much different. It has a whole arsenal and moves and whatever. Right? So yeah, you're right. There are some differences, but not as vast, I guess, or as varied. I think the game looked great, though. The one thing I noticed sort of just literally right now, I want to mention it because I'm definitely going to forget, and I didn't realize at the time, but I wonder if one of the first shots is Luigi in like a rally car, looks like a rally car, and he's got all this sort of advertisement stickers on it and stuff. I wonder if there's going to be some car customization as well, where you can kind of put little stickers on or something too.
Oh, interesting.
Or that's just his car. That's just one of his cars.
Yeah.
Either way, that could be a fun idea too, where you unlock some stickers as you go, and instead of it being your little avatar in your corner, you can add it to the hood of your car or something like that, and it's a gold coin or whatever it is, or a mushroom or something. I thought that was cool. For me, the coolest thing is I like the idea, but I wish there was one little change to it. The knockout mode is the mode that really stuck with me. I like that idea a lot. I just wish that it looks like you stop in between each section.
Yeah.
Right.
And I wish it just kept going. And if you came in 6th or 8th or whatever, you just got cut off and the race just kept going.
I agree.
That would be really cool.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
I wanted it to be more of like a battle royale, where it's like it's fluid, it's kind of going all the way through it, and then almost like a Fall Guys almost. Where yes, there are tiny breaks in between, but
I don't want any breaks. I want it to just go. Yeah, I want it to literally there's a finish line or a checkpoint.
Yep.
If you are below the threshold, like they mentioned, it doesn't stop. And I did notice too, this is something that's been pointed out already. I can see is that potentially every race or most races, I don't know if maybe it's just the knockout ones. It looked like a couple of the shots they had where the race starts when everyone's already moving as opposed to at a standstill.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That could be how they do the knockout one, is that technically you're still moving. Everyone's going, base speed or whatever, and you can still hit A to get a little boost when it says go, but you're not sitting still when each section starts. So that could be a little bit of an in-between and feel like you're not really stopping, but there could be reasons for it too. Maybe you get little kudos points, or you get rewards for coming, into the 5th section instead of the 7th last time, little things like that. So that is more interesting to me than even the open world stuff, because I'm even the person in the Forza Horizon games, the latest ones, where I like that I can drive around in a lot of places, but really I'm just driving from race to race. Right, I'm not really searching for things, even though that's what they want you to do. Yeah. So I'm fine with just, if I'm going to race on a closed track, just get me to the closed track,
Yeah.
And the knockout is kind of in between, it seems. So
right.
That's it sounds fun to me. So yeah.
And it looks great. The photos we can take together.
Oh my God. All the photos.
All the photos.
All the photos. I called the Sea-Doo though.
That's fair.
And the snowmobile. I call one of those.
Okay. I call the Warthog when Master Chief is inevitably added to this game. I'm planting my flag in this.
Is Bobby going to be the gunner? Can Bobby be the gunner?
So that would be sick. Yeah. Little double dash action.
Double dash, but with bullets. Let's do it.
The Master Cycle Zero. That's all I want.
That would be cool to get back. Yeah.
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 It looks great. I think it's going to be Mario Kart. The way it looks, there's jumping off walls and grinding. So little Tony Hawk going on here. That's kind of interesting. As far as I know, that's not something we've seen before. So that's cool. And probably could mean that the races are more complicated. There's more going on than just, you flip upside down and you have gravity, or you do a loop-de-loop, or you go off a ramp or something. The fact that you can jump from wall to wall like that they showed a couple times, those are little boost opportunities and stuff. That's cool. That's a little sort of skill challenge in the middle of a race. That's fun.
Yep. Bobby, any other thoughts
about Mario? No, I'm pretty satisfied with what we saw. I mean, it's Mario Kart, really.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be drifting through every level. That's all I care.
Love it. I'm going to just kind of go through the rest of the launch lineup from first party. If there's any things that you guys want to chime in on, feel free. I mean, another big one was Donkey Kong Bonanza. A little fake out there. I thought it was going to be a 3D Mario game at first. It definitely feels that way.
I'm happy that it's Donkey Kong. It looks like, it's funny because he's smashing through
the level
and stuff, and it looks like he's grabbing all these gems or whatever, gold and whatever they're gonna call it. And it was it's Donkey Kong Galactic Survivor, oh my God, what the hell's the game called? Deep Rock Galactic Donkey Kong.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
Like, I'm down to play more Donkey Kong. I love Donkey Kong. I just hope that there's more of the family that you can. It feels like you can only play as him. I don't know. And also I'm just iffy on the new look.
Me too,
okay,
man. I like it in the movie. I don't know if I like it in practice in games.
I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't feel.
There's something about it.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's Donkey Kong's cousin or something. We'll find out. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, isn't Cranky Kong the original Donkey Kong? Something like that.
I don't keep up with the lore.
The original from like the arcade game, from like the Donkey Kong arcade game. Yeah,
there you go.
That's what it's supposed to be. Yeah. It's expressive, so that's fun. I get it. But that's it. Then now this basically confirms that's what Donkey Kong looks like. Like that's it. They're not going to go back, right?
No.
But my favorite part about this is that it looks like they're going back to some 2D segments. And I love that original trilogy, so sure. I'm okay with that. So a little bit of a break from the 3D is fun too. Yeah, we'll see what else it is, but it's a lot of like smashing stuff around. So we'll see how that goes.
Absolutely, yeah. And then we got another fake out, or at least a fake out. I thought I was like, this is 50-50 when Kirby started popping up, because I was like, this is 50-50 Smash, or it's 50-50 a new Kirby game. And Kirby Air Riders, what a delight! Directed by Sakurai himself. I am pleasantly surprised, but also like confounded by the way that they set up this trailer, because it's the exact same model as they use in Smash Brothers Ultimate. But yeah, I'm delighted by this. I like Kirby Air Ride back on the GameCube. I'm actually shocked we're getting a sequel. Especially that's what took me the same year as we were getting Mario Kart. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I was like, really? Air Ride of all games?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm into it. I mean, it's been a while since I played the original. I'll probably have to boot it up. And I'm surprised that, we know about this when it comes up. It's not, the GameCube port is not on that expansion pack. It's another blunder. It's like, come on, guys. These are games
that's just the original lineup. They're just most definitely going to add it at some
100%.
point.
But like, if you're launching that game, even early next year, like get that thing ready for launch.
Well, Air Riders is 2025.
Oh, so even better. So then, like, from between June and December, it'd be perfect to have like the first one to get your feet wet, to acclimate to what it is, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who have not played it. It'd be perfect to just get them invested in what Air Riders is.
Yeah,
easy win, I feel.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm all for it. I only played a little bit of the original, just a bit. I never had a GameCube at the time, but this and like the original and Donkey Kong 64, they got to throw on NSO.
I agree, and
I think those would be two setups for those two games. We can talk about NSO in just a bit, but I don't have to go too deep into it, but yeah, this is fun. It's cool. I like Kirby games. Kirby, one of the best things about Kirby is he does a bunch of different things.
Absolutely. He's so malleable. He's such a malleable little character.
Yeah. We also got Marshmallow.
We also got Dragon Drive, a 3v3
very cool
competitive game coming out this summer. I don't know if this is for me, but it's really cool.
I'll play it.
Yeah.
I'm done to play it.
Tron basketball, man.
Tron basketball, yeah.
Looks cool.
Yeah. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. They definitely saw Astro's Playroom and they're like, all right, cool. We'll do this too. And
we'll do that, but not at all.
How is it a paid game? Like, come on, guys.
It's $7 US.
Right. Astrobot came with the console, and look what happened with Astrobot.
It's a confoundingly silly idea.
They showed us what it has to offer in 30 seconds. I don't need to pay $7 to $10 for that.
Yeah,
even
so weird. Has their own game like that where it's free.
Oh, yeah, it's so weird.
It's silly. Nintendo also announced a whole bunch of paid upgrade paths for a bunch of existing Switch games. So Super Mario Party Jamboree will get one, which includes a lot of the Nintendo camera integrations and stuff like that.
Games and stuff,
yeah, which is cool. Then we got Breath of the Wild Switch 2 edition and Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 edition. This is perhaps some of the most exciting stuff to really talk about in terms of
Tears
upgrade
of the Kingdom
paths.
and Breath of the Wild, like they finally get their day in the light with the support, and I'm down for it. I would probably revisit those games.
I never finished Tears of the Kingdom, so I am 100% going to go back.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I never played it or picked it up, one, it was just bad timing as far as when it came out and stuff for me, but like it seemed like something that, and I think Bobby, you were talking about it too, or maybe you guys were all sort of mentioning how like, yeah, it runs, but it could use a little more juice, and like this is the perfect way to do that, and that's kind of why I said, oh, I'll just be patient, and regardless of whenever I guess, yeah, it literally will have to pay off. I think that game will be the one that I pick up whenever I get this console, regardless of timing. So
yes. So it does come with smoother frame rates, faster loading times, better graphics. So you're getting an up-resed version of each of these games. You're getting Zelda Notes, which is part of the new app. Well, redesigned app. It's now the Nintendo Switch app.
The Steve app.
The Steve app. Yeah.
You get your little ding points every time you find a seed. Ding.
Well, that's the most exciting part.
That's it. That's do they have a name for it? I missed that. I missed if they have a name for it. Like the achievements.
They're just called achievements.
Are they all just called achievements? Oh, okay.
And they did it. Like we did it. I manifested this.
That's all he needs. That's all he needs.
But it doesn't. It's not even traditional. It's so
yes,
weird.
it is. It's so traditional. What are you talking about? You do a thing in a game and you get an achievement. That's traditional.
Through an app, that's insane.
Now, but this is the thing. You don't just do it for 2 games. You don't integrate the system for 2 games. I think this is a test.
Yeah. I think it's an obvious thing for something like this because it's an open world game, and you found 10 of these, you found 15 of these, like that. That does make sense to do that, but
it's like I'm not doing all that again.
I doubt it.
I doubt it's retroactive. I would be shocked if it was, but I do think that we're making progress. Nintendo is at least acknowledging the importance of having achievements in their game, and I think that is leagues beyond what I could have hoped for. I was 1000% expecting to come out of all of this and then just disregard it once again. I think between this, the in-app achievement system just for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, that's huge. Then Xenoblade Chronicles also has in-game achievement system, not tied to like a larger ecosystem. I really do think that Nintendo's working towards something to be like, listen, we're gonna do it. It's just gonna take time, and that's way more than I would have ever given them credit for. So
Steve is giddy.
Everyone. I've said it as if they do it, if they go both feet in, if they commit to this, it's over. It's over for old Steve.
That's what they're doing. So that's amazing. Like I'm for it. It's such a Nintendo way of doing things.
I know.
Yes, definitely.
Just do it like everybody else. Like I know that's not what they like doing. Just let me get my achievements the traditional way.
I hope when they do the Mario Kart video direct thing that this is part of it.
I hope so too.
Because even if it's just like, oh, it's just time trials, or it's just oh, you came in first 10 times in a row, like whatever. It's hard to do in a multiplayer Mario Kart. I get it, but like something, even if there's just like 20 of them, and are like, hey, you play friends, you get achievement, cool. Like that would be because it's launch, it's new, it's like you found this many things in the open world, you won this many knockout rounds, like great. Do that. It doesn't have to be crazy expansive, and maybe they add more to it, but I'm not the achievement or trophy hunter like you are, Steve, but more is more, and I'm fine with it. Like I don't shy away from them.
Sure.
And add more, give me more stuff to do. Little extra carrot on the stick. Why not?
I think, especially to your point, even if it's reserved for single player games, larger games like a Breath of the Wild or something like that, at least it's something in the game to make you want to feel like you're doing like 100% of everything in the game. If a new Yoshi game came out and they're like, here's an achievement system for that, but we're not doing it for Mario Kart because it's an online game and we don't really want you to steer off from just having fun, I would totally accept that and understand that. But I do want to see what this system looks like outside of these 2 games. Speaking of other games, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is getting some Switch 2 support. We're getting HDR 4K at 60 frames or full HD at 120 frames per second. Great stuff.
With mouse controls.
With mouse controls. See, that's what I'm saying. First person shooter mouse controls. I'm liking this.
slower pace. It's Metroid,
of course,
right?
yeah.
So
It's not
like,
competitive,
but
yeah.
But it is cool, especially with it's gonna feel really cool to have that Samus suit as your field of view, and be able to move around with your hand. Like there's just something about that it's gonna feel more tactile, which is great.
I agree.
I'm just hope like War Wars Call of Duty. You know it's coming. I would love to see a little teaser of like Verdansk got it on Switch.
Warzone on Switch.
Come on, easy win for a lot of people.
Yeah,
a lot of people named Steve.
This guy.
That sounded like this. That sounded like the Switch like there. And you're like, that was good.
Thank you. And then Mario. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say. I mean, first we'll talk about first party. That's fine, but there's definitely more. That
of course,
Steve, that Steve needs to talk about. So
we're getting there. No, I was just going to say, wrapping up the first party stuff. Pokemon Legends ZA. Is getting an enhanced resolution upgrade with frame rates.
Is it ZA or is it Pokemon ZA and it's Pokemon Pizza?
They said, well, not ZA because it's going from rank Z to A.
Yeah,
it's Pokemon Pizza. It's Pokemon ZA. Is that not what it is?
ZA.
I'm confused. Pizza, Pokemon ZA, and Pokemon ZA. Anyways.
Yeah,
I'm so tired. That was a great joke. You're welcome.
It was really good. It was really good the first time I heard it last year.
I live under a rock.
It's something.
Talking about third-party stuff, we have to talk about surprise of the Direct from Software getting an exclusive game on Nintendo Switch. What an absolute delight.
How does Bloodborne 2, like Sony refused to make Bloodborne 2, so they just asked Nintendo,
or maybe Nintendo asked them. Maybe Nintendo was like, "Oh, Elden Ring was such a popular game.
We need something.
We need something. We need not only getting Elden Ring from them.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But let's get an exclusive game on Nintendo Switch. Let's pour in buckets of money to get a Miyazaki directed
the fact that
software game.
The fact that it's exclusive surprised me.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Or maybe it's timed exclusive. I don't know, but regardless, they said exclusive. They didn't say anything about timed, but at least not yet. But
the press release says exclusively for Nintendo Switch. It doesn't say anything like
nothing
that.
About time.
The other thing that they didn't really allude to too much in the trailer, but the press release kind of goes over. This is a multiplayer game as well.
Yeah, PvP versus P.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
I
like the vampire aesthetic. I dig it. It looks so cool.
Did anyone else think that this was going to be a From Software Castlevania?
Yeah, I thought so too.
Oh, that would have been nice.
I was almost convinced.
Well, maybe that's just what everyone's going to think, and that's good enough. I don't know.
I'm down with it. I'm down with it. Whatever.
It's fine. I'm not a huge From player. Like, I still haven't played Elden Ring. I still need to find the time to make sure that I play. I do want to. But I don't. Maybe this is the type of one that'll click more with me because like Bloodborne never did when I did play it way back. But doesn't mean I won't like this game or like Elden Ring. And it's cool. I didn't get any hint that this was multiplayer.
No, me neither until I read.
I'm sure I'm not the only one, but like, yeah. Anyways,
but very cool. We're getting Hades 2.
Yeah, we are.
Hell yeah!
Not surprised.
Do not shrug that off, Steve. Hades 2 will likely be the best game if it comes out this year.
Sorry, I'm not shrugging it off. I was waiting for someone to jump in because I don't play Hades, so I know.
I gotta go back to it.
I've put 30 hours into the beta, into the pre-release. That's before the big update that they did like a month ago. I put 30 hours into like the base early access release that they put on Steam in like October or whatever. Like, shit, this game is just gonna be my entire life. It's I mean, it was on the original Switch. It makes sense that it's there, but it's cool that they're saying that it's definitely coming,
of course,
and being made for 2. And it's the first one ran great on the first Switch. I'm sure this one will too. Anyways, Hades 2 is, oh boy, yeah. But no idea when it's coming out. They still have even in all like the updates they give you on Steam and stuff, and when you're part of like the early access, they haven't said anything about a definitive date at all. So
not a definitive date. The press release does say later this year.
Later this year. It's maybe it might not be 1.0, but it could be.
Could be. Who knows?
Yeah.
We're getting EA Sports, Madden NFL, Sports FC, NBA 2K, WWE 2K, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment from Koei Tecmo. So all you Muso creeps, you guys can enjoy that game.
Day one.
Day one. Yeah. I wish I liked these kinds of games. Not for me, but I respect them.
I want to play I want to play this like the original Hyrule game. Like I want to try it because at least back in the day, Dynasty Warriors.
Yep.
6, 7, something like that. On like, I think PS2. I paid a pretty penny for that because I heard it was really fun, and I put a bunch of time into that game. It was great.
Yeah.
But that's the last time I really like actually played them. But I heard the new one seems great. So maybe this is the Hyrule version of that, and yeah, I'm down. But Bobby, you're going day one for this guy?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm playing it. They're fun, and if Origins is anything to go by, this is going to be a big step up.
Nice.
Yep. Then we got Split Fiction, Cyberpunk 2077.
That surprised me.
That surprised me as well.
The Ultimate Edition, so it's got everything.
It's got everything in it. Yeah.
I'm very curious to see how it'll run, but
yeah,
props to CD Projekt Red. Yeah,
it should be okay. There's no way it's not. It's on par with like a pretty strong console, right? So
yeah. Yep. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade.
Insane. I was blown away.
Why? I don't get it. Like why?
Because it's the game that broke the bond between PlayStation and Sony and not Sony, Nintendo and Square Enix.
Yeah.
So is it?
To see the game finally land, it's a big thing.
All right, I didn't know that.
Big thing.
Again, under a rock.
Sure, fair.
It happened 30 years ago, Dave.
Still, I was under the non-Final Fantasy rock 30 years ago.
Just call him Patrick Starr. Just call
Fair enough.
That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. He's got cool shorts.
Absolutely, he does. Street Fighter 6. We got Civilization 7, Hogwarts Legacy, Bravely Default, Flying Fairy, HD remastered. That's some mouthful.
Amiibos coming with Street Fighter. That's cool.
Yeah. That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, they that style, like the style that Street Fighter 5 and 6 have that art style, will look really nice in Amiibos. That's really cool.
Amiibos for Hyrule Warriors as well.
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Nice. Yeah. Borderlands 4 coming. That's exciting.
Randy is very excited. So
Randy really wants you to know Borderlands 4 is coming out, and he's excited about it. And then some quick ones here that really aren't all that surprising. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 with a SpongeBob level that they just kind of dropped in there, no context. I know what's going on here.
Yeah.
What are we doing? I'm stoked for that. Elden Ring, which we talked about before. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, which seems to be adding new cutscenes and stuff like that. Yeah. This is the only Yakuza game I played, so that's the only reason I picked up on that.
Yeah, no, there's some new content I'm looking forward to trying out, but I don't think it's going to be anything huge.
No, I assume not. Then Fortnite, obviously, because it's got to be everywhere. Enter the Gungeon 2, Hitman World of Assassins Signature Edition, and then we saw Project 007 again from IO Interactive.
Yep. Well, at least they let us know it's still there. At least
they certainly did. Yep. And then a bunch of other games, and then of course we got 2 seconds of Hollow Knight Silksong.
At least we know it's still coming this year now.
We do. Xbox even emphasized that afterwards. They're like, "Hey, remember day one on Game Pass." They did not want to give. They didn't want. Yeah, they didn't want to give Nintendo that much smoke. They're like, "No."
I mean, they had to. They had to do that. They had to.
Of course.
Yeah,
it's fine. I'm down to finally play it. It's been 6 years, but
absolutely
it's not that long.
I am the only person in the world that is not excited for this game at all. I have no interest.
That's okay, Dave. I'll have enough interest for you.
I'm sure you do. It's all pent up too. It's ready to.
You want to know? You want to know the craziest thing? And you wouldn't know this, Dave, because you watched it. Post direct, like the live presentation.
Yeah.
So the U.S.
This part of it, I did at least. Yeah.
Yeah. So the U.S. stream crashed because 1.5 million people were watching at one point.
Wow.
Which is crazy. And then they got to the sizzle reel of showing all the third-party games and everything. And then all of a sudden the video froze, the audio kept going, and then the video went back while the audio kept going. So then the video was like 2 minutes behind.
Oh, geez.
And I was in a Discord call and everyone was like, go to the UK version. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go do that. And in the moment that I was swapped, Hollow Knight Silksong came up, and I'm getting messages on messages on messages. People being like, did you see Silksong? I was like, you guys are messing with me, right? Like, this didn't actually happen. They're like, no, Silksong was there. I was like, funny joke. And then I went back afterwards. I was like, what sick world? What sick world is Hollow Knight in the 10 seconds?
Yeah. That's all it takes.
But yeah, it was cool that it was there. I'm looking forward to that.
You know what? Everyone that's excited for it is clamoring for even the minimal detail. Anything. Yeah. And at least that's there. So that's great. That's great.
Yeah. And now I get to debate, do I get it on Xbox Game Pass? Do I get it on Nintendo Switch 2? Do I get it on both?
Well, Game Pass you kind of already have.
Well, I need the achievements.
Oh, Jesus.
And then I'll replay it on Switch because
of course you. Well, there you go. That is another reason to, for Nintendo to say like, hey, well, that's the other thing. Is it only going to be first party games?
That's the thing. Yeah,
like that, and it could very well be that, and maybe that's enough, and that's okay. Sure. But
I will say that if Nintendo came out and they were like, hey, we're supporting achievements on all games, and Silksong was there, I would just buy it on the Switch too.
Yeah. I get it, especially a game like that. I get it.
Yeah, I want to hold it, like I want it in handheld mode. I want to be playing it like on the airplane and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I do want to talk about NSO quickly. Dave, you brought it up earlier. They did confirm that yes, GameCube games are coming with a small selection of games already announced, including Soul Calibur 2. Which is pretty crazy. You got Link in there. There's our Zelda game.
He doesn't need to be Mario Kart. He's here.
No, exactly. I want to hand it back over to you, Dave. Just in terms of NSO.
I think the reason why I want to just mention, we don't have to go too deep into the reason why, but for me, I canceled a whole bunch of subscriptions last year. NSO was one of them, or let them lapse or something as we were expecting our child. And I've picked up Game Pass for a couple months here and there, but there has been nothing on NSO that has intrigued me to say, hey, I should sign back up for this. Like it's just there's not enough there for me. The GameCube stuff is interesting, but I also think that if they treat it the way that they've treated, in my opinion, the way that they've treated the expansion pack, extra costs with the 64 games, more specifically 64 games, but Game Boy Advance, there's just not enough there.
Sure.
The drip feed of it is ridiculously frustrating and not worth the extra money, in my opinion, for more than a few months at a time. It's just not, and I highly doubt that the GameCube is going to be treated any differently. Like when you open up the GBA, it's games, even if you pull it up online. But the last time I opened it up on my Switch, which, like I said, is almost a year ago at this point, but I've opened up the 64 and the GBA area of games on NSO, and there's so few to choose from. That I'm like, why do I even have this anymore? And maybe things will change. Maybe there'll be more games to play online with friends when Switch 2 is out and there's more games to play and stuff. Okay, maybe that's something, but there's just not enough there. Thankfully, NSO, I don't know if the price is going to be any different, but at least it's not crazy expensive compared to the others. Last I remember, I was paying way less than $20 a month for it.
Oh, yeah.
So, it doesn't feel like you're really setting yourself back a ton. But even the extra cost for that expansion pack that I was very excited about, I was like, yeah, I'm good to just let this go and not really get it back. If I want to play games online, I can do it for free on my PC, or I can do it as a part of Game Pass on my console or my PC. So different games. I'm not going to be playing Mario Kart on those, but I need to see more in order for me to be more interested in NSO other than voice chat is part of NSO. Like, okay, what is this? The PS2, PS3? Like,
sure,
you know, like is this Xbox Live 360 era? Like, that's what this feels like.
Yeah.
GameCube's exciting. I don't have as much love for it as some people do. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's great that it's coming, but I'm not sold yet on NSO. That's all.
That's fair. I do think that there are pros and cons to it. I think depending on what you want out of it, it can really be one of those subscriptions that you get for a month, play the game that just dropped, bounce off, you get your little hit of nostalgia for a bit, and then you just kind of move on to the next thing
for like $10 or whatever. Like, it's not expensive, so
right?
It does help.
Exactly. Yeah, there's really no like firm commitment in there to like keep it going on unless you are in depth playing a lot of online multiplayer games or stuff like that. I do think that outside of what's on the Switch, Nintendo's doing some really interesting things to kind of add value to it. I know that they have the Nintendo Music app, which is cool. I think it's not a reason to subscribe, but I think it's a reason to feel like you're getting more for the minimal subscription that's out there.
But also everyone has access to YouTube, so
yes, but then
that's just me being a cranky pants. That's
of course. But then it becomes the thing of like, well, if I want it on my phone, I need YouTube Premium to then close the phone.
Yeah.
So it's like true. Exactly.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Got you there. Hey. Got you there.
Just another rock that I've been under. That's
it. That's it. Yeah, to kind of close things off, I just want to talk about how is everyone feeling with all these announcements, everything like that? Like, what's the hype levels going into this next generation of Nintendo Switch? How do you feel like, do they have the momentum going to kind of outpace the original Nintendo Switch? Do they have a chance to now continue to stick in a conversation of contemporary game consoles and stuff like that? Do you feel good about new third-party games even launching maybe day and date on Nintendo Switch in the future? How does everyone feel?
It's too early to tell for me, but like I'm pretty confident they'll either match or come close to the Switch's lifetime sales for sure. There's no way it's not going to, but that big hurdle of price is gonna be very painful for them in the first year or two before things maybe levy out and they kind of balance out. But yeah, no, I feel like it's possible. They just need to give it some time. I don't know if it's going to be right away. It won't break records right away like the Switch did, but it'll get there. I feel like it's very, very likely.
Yeah.
I do think that the hardware upgrades make a difference. It will. I mean, we'll see how things progress as far as software goes, but it could give it just as much life as the original Switch did. On the like shelf life sort of thing, which we can joke all we want that it's been out for almost a decade or whatever it's been, but like it's still largely a great console. It still largely runs most things great, and this could potentially do that too. So that's great. And I think the third party thing is big because there's very few third party games that I was ever like, oh yeah, I know I'm going to get this on Switch. Like
for sure.
The reason why I did it for Hades, if we go back to that, is because I just wanted to play more Hades. Like that's why. It's not because I was like, oh my god, it's going to be so much better. If anything, it would have run worse because of the hardware, so it didn't. It ran great, but that's also like 5-6 years ago. So I'm excited. I am excited. Even if I'm not going to be first in line, I'm excited for this. I want to see what else they have to offer, and I want to see how cool they can make more Prime or bring back other, first party titles that they have. Like the most exciting thing for me is I think they probably like Prime is Metroid Prime is an example of that. You mentioned like let's say a Yoshi game or a Wario game, a 3D or 2D upgraded version of one of those, like make another Yoshi story that is kid friendly, but also very fun. Could be a mix of 2D and 3D, like those kinds of ideas potentially they've had for a while, but held them back because they knew this was coming. And then now they can start implementing those plans and putting them on a new console and driving more people to it. So that's what I'm most excited for is like Bobby, like you said, it might take a year or two for the ball to really get rolling, but that's when I'm going to be even more excited than I am right now because I'm going to be able to see what those are and maybe they'll be able to do more interesting things with them. And as long as that mouse stuff doesn't end up being like a gimmick, like
Yeah.
what motion control eventually came to be.
Sure.
As long as it's not that, then that's also exciting that they can do fun ideas that are optional but also interesting and add a little bit more to it. So yeah.
Yep. As for me, I'm feeling really good about the hardware. The software so far looks pretty compelling and diverse as far as like a launch lineup.
Yeah, they showed a lot
window,
first and third. Like they showed a lot. So
they really did, and I'm pleasantly happy with the third-party support, because I feel like for me, the beacon here is the fact that they got Cyberpunk to run on this thing, and for me, as long as games continue to keep coming out on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, I feel like we are in a place now where Switch 2 can be a place that gets games day and date and becomes a place of, okay, now I'm thinking about 3 options instead of just the 2. Depending on the game, maybe I go over to 1, but usually it's the case. Do I play PlayStation or Xbox?
Yeah, I want and as far as handheld goes, I didn't play handheld Switch as much. It just wasn't as comfortable. So I want to know what this feels like in my hands first of all, but also now that I have a Steam Deck, I want to see if I'm going to choose between one of those two. It's not even just the consoles. Like the Steam Deck is so great and runs everything almost perfectly, at least in my experience so far. There needs to be enough for me to say like, oh, instead of automatically assuming this is going to be a PC purchase, I want to see if it's going to be a Switch purchase because I can also take it with me.
1000%.
Which has been 80%, 90% of my gaming in the last 10 months, 11 months has been on Steam Deck, so. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to
No. Of course, no. I was just wrapping up. Like I do think that we're in a very compelling spot for the future of Nintendo. I'm a little less confident that they'll be able to outpace the original Switch, only because you are entering into the fold of higher price access. But that being said, I mean, PlayStation 5 came out in a time when prices were high, as well as you were dealing with production issues during COVID. And that didn't really stop people from buying these things. So
I think this could also be like a DS 3DS type thing where there's so many DS out there that you really have to give someone a reason to not use that Switch.
Right? Exactly.
And get the Switch 2 instead. Yeah. And if it takes time, it takes time. That's totally fine. No, we're definitely not saying you need to get it this calendar year or even next year. Like just do what you have to do
for sure
if you want it. But it could be one of those too. It's the DS is technically, I mean, it's still a console, but technically the highest selling piece of hardware ever. Like the 3DS was largely the same thing, but it sold significantly less. And part of it could be because so many people had a DS. It could be the same thing for the Switch. I don't know. There's an assumption.
Absolutely. Well, that about wraps up this episode. Great discussion on Nintendo Switch. We'll have a lot more to talk about in the coming weeks and months leading up to the launch of this long-awaited piece of tech. But until then, Dave, great to see you. Thanks for hanging out, talking Nintendo Switch. What an occasion.
I'm so sorry it's been too long.
It's been very long.
I'm still around, but as far as being on the episodes, my God.
Yeah. Where can people keep up with you and all your comings and goings?
Comings and goings, mostly sort of just lingerings. Dave Petro on Bluesky is where I pretty much hang out exclusively right now. And at consolecreatures.com, I'm still writing a couple news stories here and there, but also reviewing some really great games. I currently have my hands on 2 really cool indie games. Look for those reviews. One of them is either out by the time you hear this, and another one, or just after, and another one will be shortly after that too. But 2 games that I think people should check out. I can confidently say. So, keep your eyes peeled to Console Creatures.
Amazing. And Bobby, how about yourself?
Just find us wherever you want. Your social channels, we're all there. ConsoleCreatures.com, Bluesky, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, wherever you want. We're there. Lots of good stuff on the website. So many things coming out this week and the week after, and basically till the end of time.
Till the end of time, exactly. And as for me, you can find me across the internet at svigvari. We appreciate you all for tuning in, and until next time, we'll see you. Bye.